Now, it is the 1st of March 2019, and I'm excited because it's my birth month. But welcome to the new month. Let me do so. Here at JoyNews, we're keeping the focus on the country, Ghana. So we bring you stories about our culture, tourist locations, our food, etc. Now, another thing that's happening is how electricity gets to your home. Now, for the country's nearly 30 million population, everyone has been used to the Electricity Company of Ghana serving them power. In fact, I have known the ECG since I was born. But today, that long-held tradition has changed because the Power Distribution Company Ghana Limited has taken over that business from the Electricity Company of Ghana and will be responsible for distributing power to households in the country. So, what should you expect as the PDS begins operations? Would you require a new meter or will your electricity bill increase? We brought you an official of the PDS and he'll be answering all of the questions that you have. So today, I'm going to pretty much cut down on my questions and allow you to take the center stage, and I'll be throwing your questions to him. You've already sent me some. Continue sending them in. The number is 050-564-6330. I'll be talking to the strategic advisor for the PDS, Mr. Fred Asemeni, who is already here in the studio with me. But before I go to him, the takeover announcement was made 2 days ago at a ceremony attended by high-ranking government officials. Here is a quick one on what they had to say. When we return, we take your questions.
PDS, which we expect to come in and address some of this concern, will be repeating some of these challenges, or will leave some of these challenges unaddressed. And I don't see the rationale for us gathering here. The Ghanaians will therefore be given the opportunity to do it. If the losses will remain 25%, the power theft will continue to increase. The technical drive to change equipment will remain unchanged. Then it's better we take over our equipment and run it at the same level. But if your intervention into the drive is to reduce some of these challenges and make the value of power consumption affordable to the consumers and make Ghana to industrialize as a result of cheaper power productions, and make the country an enclave of power distributions within the sub-region, then, of course, you are worth a private sector participation in Ghana.
All right, so you had them there. Apologies that you couldn't hear the finance minister. We actually did play what he said yesterday here on the show, but let's continue with your questions. That's more important to us here, so that you can feel, you know, the relevance of the changes being done. I've got a couple of your questions here, and I'm going to read them to you. Ms. Asemeni, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming as well. Now, let me just start by asking this basic question about how you're going to run. I mean, how is the PDS going to run, and how is that different from how the ECG operates at the moment?
Well, thank you very much for having me in the studio. PDS, as you're well aware, stands for Power Distribution Services Ghana Limited. Yeah. And effectively, from this morning, we took over the operations and management of the electricity distribution network operating system in the Southern Distribution Zone of Ghana. The Southern Distribution Zone comprises 8 8 operating regions.
8 operating regions?
Yes, and about 85 districts. The 8 operating regions covers all the way from Ashanti downwards, you know, eastern, western, central, Greater Accra. I think for us, we are very excited about being able to play a significant role in taking the whole country forward, because electricity is at the base of our lives globally, you know, and also it's really at the base of industrialization. Without electricity, most things don't move. So in certain ways, we feel privileged to be in this important position. For PDS, we are here to serve. We're here to serve the people of Ghana. We're here to serve consumers. As we begin and continue to operate the network, consumers are not going to see a dramatic change in the way they consume electricity or pay for it.
When you say that, could you please elaborate?
Yeah, today, every consumer who uses electricity has a meter at home. Those meters will still be in place.
Okay.
We're not going to change any meters as yet.
As yet?
As yet.
It means that there are plans to change the meters along the line. Well,
definitely, because if you look at the technology that's running most efficient electricity distribution networks globally, mostly they use smart prepayment meters.
Okay.
Smart prepayment meters because there are a multitude of channels which consumers can use to pay their electricity, from mobile phones, the internet, banks.
But how has that got, what has that got to do with the meters? Because the meters are the more like the conduit through which you get the power in your home.
Yes, today we have a fundamental problem in the system. You find that because the operating system for meters does not have a common platform. Okay. You can be in Laboni, for instance, out working and get a call from home in East Legon that electricity has run out. But you can't top up your meter from Laboni because we have disparate systems. One of the things that PDS is going to resolve very quickly is creating a common platform, a meter management system that allows consumers to pay for their electricity from any location in Ghana, even when you're outside the country.
Okay, I get what I get from what you've said, Mr. Asmani, so far is that it's more of, you know, the money. It's more of how consumers are going to be paying for it and how you're creating the platform. But I want to find out, when you mentioned the meters, you said that there's new technology. Are you saying that there's going to be the introduction of this new technology as far as how we get the utility in our homes? Is that going to change?
No, how you get the utility in your home primarily remains the same.
Okay.
It is how we measure the electricity you consume and how you pay for it.
So we're going to pay more? Is that what it means?
Well, I think you've seen the announcement from the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission.
Until July?
There is no increase. There's no increase in tariffs.
Until July?
Well, the only body that sets tariffs in this country is the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. They are who we call the economic regulator. So we work with the economic regulator closely to make sure that the tariff that is set is economic. It has to be cost reflective. Okay. But at the same time, at the bottom line, PDS, our philosophy is to ensure that consumers don't pay too much for electricity. And the way we are going to achieve that, obviously, is to ensure that we can improve, you know, the cost base of the network. And that can be done in a variety of ways. Improve technical losses that the system currently experiences. Attack very strongly theft of electricity. It's a big problem. Illegal connections.
How are you going to deal with that?
Well, there are a variety of ways. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
Okay, very
I don't want to let the cat out of the bag now.
But as long as it's efficient and it gives us the results.
Thank you very much.
But I'm still curious to find out how the technology, you know, as far as how the electricity power gets to our homes is concerned, is going to change. Is that going to change in any way?
Well, fundamentally not. Today we have 3 main institutions in the chain, in the supply chain. We have the generation companies who actually produce the electricity. Yeah. Today it's a combination of the state utility, the Volta River Authority, and some private participants, the generation companies. Once they produce the electricity, It is then transported throughout the country by the grid company of Ghana along our high voltage transmission lines. And then from the grid company, it then comes to Power Distribution Services Ghana Limited to our substations. And then from our substations and our bulk supply points, we then take the electricity through substations, reduce its voltage, and bring it down the last mile to your home at 240 volts. And that primary system remains the same.
Okay, and it won't change in the future?
Well, in the future, you will find that we tweak the system to make it more efficient in the terms of how we bring electricity to you. Okay. It is that efficiency that allows us to reduce the cost base, which will translate into a better tariff for the consumer in the future.
Okay, as we go along, I'm sure we will find out. I mean, we will have an idea what the problems in the specific areas of inquiry we need to come to. But let me take the questions on the minds of our viewers for you so that you can answer them for us. This one says, good afternoon. Please, I want to know if the takeover will permit a prospective Ghanaian to apply for as an agent to collect light bills on behalf of PDS if you have an office or a shop for such purposes. It's coming from Brefo Gesom in Kumasi.
Thank you, Brefo.
Yeah, so
we currently have a system of a vendor system where people apply to the erstwhile Electricity Company of Ghana and are able to accept money from people to pay for their bills. That system remains. That system remains. But what we are going to do is expand the channels through which consumers can pay. So in addition to the vendors, you can pay just like you use your Momo, just like you use your mobile money. You can pay your electricity bill through mobile money. You can pay it through the internet. You can pay it through your bank, which exists already, and we'll introduce some other interesting platforms, payment solutions. Which
as it stands, if this gentleman wants to, get into vendor business, he just has to go through the process. What does he just have to go to ECG offices for that?
Well, let me say that all the Electricity Company of Ghana offices in the country today are still branded as ECG, but technically have been taken over by PDS.
Okay.
So you still transact business. You still transact business with the ECG locations and the systems that you're aware of. But over a period of time, you'll see a rebranding of all the buildings and all the locations and all the systems to PDS.
Okay.
Yes.
From Solomon and Dema in Upper East, he says the government should sell all state institutions to the whites. He says the black man is not capable of managing his own affairs. Since independence, no state company is managed well by our leaders. And that's not a question, and I don't know if you want to make a comment on it, but let me bring you a question that I see here. He says, please, I need 6 separate meters for my apartments. I have 9 apartments, but they only have 3 meters. I tried, but was frustrated, even in getting the 3. My location is Kuntunsi satellite. So this raises a problem that a lot of people experience, especially now that everybody is building their own houses, etc. Access to electricity, getting electricity to your home is a major problem. How is the presence of the PDS going to solve the particular problem that this gentleman has?
Like I said before, our strapline, our motto, our objective is we are here to serve. And, our business is making your life comfortable at home. At the end of the day, nobody eats electricity. You use electricity for watching television, for cooking, for your fridge, for other amenities.
Basically move around.
Precisely. So it's a lifestyle product, So our objective is to make sure you have a more comfortable standard of living. And one of the things which is of concern to us is the connection time for people to get new meters. Our target is to improve that dramatically.
Okay, how?
Well, clearly, we want to ensure that in the shortest period, in the shortest possible time, when you apply for a meter, within 48 and 72 hours, you should be able to get it.
What pertains now, and how short do you want to make it, the process?
Well, personally, if I had my way, you'll get your meter almost instantaneously. Well, because, you see, as a business, we're selling electricity. And the channel through which we sell the electricity is through the meters. So there is no reason to delay connection for new customers. The only reason for the delay is to do with process and to do with the, sometimes there's a shortage of meters and there's a backlog. And this is one of the problems that we will try to address very quickly.
Is there a plan that you can share with us at the moment, or do we have to come to that later on?
I think this is very early days. We really need to assess the system we're inheriting.
Well, that's what Ghanaians want to know. They want to, this grand idea of a takeover, and Ghanaians are being promised efficiency. But they want to see the efficiency starts from the beginning.
Yes.
With the plans and everything, so we know that, okay, this is it. This is what PDS is offering, and we're going to follow this and hold them to account.
Yes.
So is there a plan to share with us at the moment as to how short you're going to make the process of acquiring or getting electricity into your new house?
Well, you may not be aware, but there was some agreement between the state authorities and even the World Bank, suggesting that new connections should not take more than 5 days. There is no reason why a new connection should take more than 5 days. But there are also some institutional problems because before you can connect, we must make sure that the wiring in your house is up to standard. Usually this is one of the problems because it's very irresponsible for us to connect a meter at a consumer location when clearly it would cause problems. So that is usually one of the causes of delay. But on our side, in terms of streamlining the system, ensuring that the meter is available, ensuring that there's a contractor or one of our people who can come and install it, that time we really want to shorten. I'm saying our target is 24 hours.
24 hours.
That is our target.
That sounds good, actually.
That is our target.
That
but
sounds
starting
good.
off, the system has to be patient for us to understand the system and how it serves consumers today. But our target is to be able to connect you almost instantaneously.
Okay. Please, how much will it cost me to acquire a meter?
Well, right now we don't have a new scale of charges as yet, so I can't answer that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you be giving every tenant his or her own meter, and how long will it take to get one, and at what cost? I think people are really interested in knowing how much it will cost for them to acquire a meter, whether or not there will be any price differences between what we had earlier and what whether or not you're going to introduce anything else. But I think this question basically is whether or not, if you are in a home with other people, whether you will need different meters in one house.
Okay, that's a complex question, and maybe it requires a lot more thought. I mean, if you're in a compound house and you're not an owner, you're a tenant.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's very difficult for tenants to get meters through their landlords. But clearly, and the problem is segregating how the electricity comes into each person's room. And usually that's not the responsibility of the utility. That's the responsibility of the landlord, an arrangement between the landlord and the tenant.
And the tenant.
But once that is sorted out, we'll be ready to come in and give you a meter. You know? And obviously, once you meet some of the basic conditions, like ensuring that the wiring in your house is okay.
Then you're good to
and
go.
Also that, you're a person of good standing.
Okay, that's pretty much status quo. Well, this one says, let all meters in the country be prepaid. People willingly buy phone credits but feel really reluctant to pay for electricity. 2, supply new meters and fix all faulty meters immediately. 3, make separate metering free to discourage illegal connections. 4, reduce bureaucracies and cost involved in getting a meter. This is from Jerry Ochao in Oda. I think Jerry makes a very interesting point about what we're talking about. If you live in a house and you want a separate meter, he's saying that the PDS should be able to make that free. Because if you don't do that, then people are able to tap from that system and steal the power. What do you make of that?
Jerry is a man of ideas. I would like him to come and join me at PDS. Because,
I'll share his contact with you.
Because, yeah, it's important. You see, we have to prosecute the system so that it creates efficiency for Ghana and for Ghanaians and gives us a better standard of living. So his points are very well noted.
Jerry, so you got yourself some kind of a job there. I should be able to share this. This one says, Galaxy from Anyankwanta Donut headquarters. He says, new company take over ECG. I think it's a step in the right direction. All we want from the new company is better services than once upon a time ECG. Okay, so this is not a question, but of course a point well noted. Says, will your service be more efficient than that of the ECG since the same people are working? Will the bill come down because ECG's bills were very high? I wish you safe in your delivery to Mother Ghana. So yeah, reduction in prices, a possibility? Oh yes,
I mean definitely. Not from day one. Our target, if you look at the 5 pillars on which we're building our business, supreme customer service and cost-effective electricity to consumers is at the top of the tree for us.
But what she wants to find out is whether or not, I mean, you say this is a PURC work, but whether or not we'll be experiencing any reduction in cost as far as electricity is concerned.
Well, the issue today that consumers have to be aware of is, I don't know if you're aware that last year, the price of electricity was reduced by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. And at that level, I don't know if you're aware, at that level, the amount that Electricity Company of Ghana was getting was not cost reflective.
Okay.
That is the fact of the matter.
Okay.
And also you hear a lot about Ghana being the most expensive station in the world for electricity around even Africa. I beg to differ. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, we want to be very efficient by ensuring that we manage our cost base very well. Number two, we plan to introduce very high-tech technology that makes the distribution of electricity far more efficient. And the effect of those two interventions is a likely reduction in tariffs at a point in the future. But the truth is that the tariffs where they are today are actually not cost reflective. I don't know if consumers are aware of that.
Well, I'm sure they're aware. What you said basically in different words is that we're going to have to pay more.
No, our PDS, we are not in the business of making our customers pay more. No.
But PDS is a private company that's looking to make profits. And is that not
well, if
not
we're
correct?
driven by profit, we'll not be in this business. We want to make a mark. We want to make a difference.
Just that.
And that is why, if you notice, when President Nana came into office and realized that 80% of the utility was being given to foreigners, he was up in arms. So today, majority of PDA is owned by Ghanaians. And why would I want to make electricity more expensive to you, my sister? It's not possible.
Oh, well, it's a business. Everybody goes into business to make money. Nobody goes into business to make a loss. But again, let me go back to the questions from our viewers. This one says, Mr. Smeni, how will PDS affect the Ghana's economy? It's from Mami in East Legon. Do you have an answer for her? She wants to know how your work will touch the economy.
It will definitely touch the economy. You know, to industrialize any country, you need electricity that's reliable and available. Point number one. Point number two, the rate at which the industries pay for electricity must be such that it, makes their businesses profitable and allows them to expand and employ more people. Sure. So for us, if you look at the industrial and commercial sector, clearly we have to have interventions that make the supply of electricity to them reliable, available, and at a price point that allows their business to work very well. Okay. So that is our target. And I'm saying Ghanaians just need to be a little bit patient with us, and they're going to see the change.
A little bit patient.
A little bit.
When we finish this, when I finish the questions, I'll have you tell us how long we should wait and how long this patience should last. Okay. But this one says, it's coming from Eugene. Eugene says, ECG had a payment plan for majority of customers in Kumasi and other regions since after installing the prepaid meters. Any amount purchased, 40% of it will be deducted to settle old debts on the previous meter. I went to purchase power unit and was told this payment plan has been cancelled. Please help address this since the payment plan was very helpful.
Point well noted. Well, it's already, there are different categories of customers who we will approach rather softly. If you see lifeline customers, for instance, that is consumers who are disadvantaged in one way or the other. There are also other types of facilities. There are sensitive facilities in the country, like hospitals, schools, and that. And, we'll have quite a different, or strategic
this is a private,
installations.
This is an individual who's saying that there used to be a payment plan, but that has been, the last time he went, he was told that it's been cancelled.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, I'm coming to that point. The position I'm trying to establish is that we don't have one broad brush that paints everybody. Okay. It depends on your circumstance. For somebody who is looking for a payment plan because they have arrears, I mean, certainly we have to look at that because our job is to make sure you can consume more electricity and enjoy a higher standard of living. So if
he has arrears, it's possible that that's the reason.
We can talk to the person and find a way to, give them a strategy for paying us. But I must appeal to Ghanaians that it is important to honor your obligations when you consume electricity. Because if we don't get the money, we can't improve the system to serve you. So this is very important. Okay. And I'd like to make one point, because it's important for consumers to know that from the 4th of March, if you want to pay your bill in whatever form, you are not sure of what to do, one of the things I would like to remind you is to ensure that you pay it to Power Distribution Services Ghana Limited. If you are writing a check to the SWAL ECG, it doesn't come to us. From the 4th of March, you must pay to Power Distribution Services Company Ghana Limited. It's important to know that.
Okay, I'll make that point again. I mean, I'll repeat that as we go along, so you don't forget. This one says gifted. Well, so for this gentleman, so it means, from what he's saying, that payment plan that was in place has been removed.
Well, this is the first time I'm hearing of this. But what I'm saying is clearly, on a case-by-case basis, we will try and solve all these issues. I think that this is something worth looking into. I think it was an arrangement that helped people to pay their electricity bill, which has been taken away. So he's bringing that to your attention. Gifted, well, please. Maybe let me just slip in a little innovation that we may bring that will help consumers.
Please.
You know, even today, those who buy mobile money, they are given an automatic credit by the phone companies. And it's something that can be introduced into electricity.
That's the bonus.
Yeah, if you buy 200 units, maybe we'll give you 50 extra. And that is to ensure that you don't just get cut. You see, look, our business is we're here to serve. We are here to ensure the customer enjoys this electricity that they need to increase their standard of living. So, but clearly, if we give you extra units for free, you must also be faithful with us
to pay.
On
time. Okay. Gifted, please, are we still going to have intermittent power cuts without prior notice, or PDS seeks to do things differently? Michael from Anumabo.
Well, that's a very complex question, and I'd like to have some time to answer it.
Okay.
I think this is a good point to let Ghanaians understand that in the chain of supply electricity to your homes, there are three main institutions.
Okay.
Now, if we, as Power Distribution Services Company Ghana Limited, do not get adequate supply of electricity, then clearly there will be a mismatch between what we get and what we can supply. And you know what? That is usually the problem that causes doom. So a lot of people are not aware of that. They always blame the distribution utility, but the distribution utility is at the end of the chain.
Because the reason why people blame the distribution agency was because they said that this company was owed so much money by especially government, and that you needed the money to purchase the power. I mean, the ECG needed the money to purchase the power. So one of the reasons why lots of people are happy that a private entity, if you like, is managing the affairs of the ECG is that you will be able to then make the money efficiently as you propose you will, to pay off those who supply you the power. In that case, there's always availability of power.
So, you know, first of all, there's a compounding effect and there's a trickle-down effect.
Okay.
If consumers pay their bills on time and we collect the money, we have a responsibility to pay those who have supplied us the power. I think one of the big differences between a private sector company in the distribution utility and a public sector company is that the relationship between government and the SWAL ECG has certain difficulties. I think for us, you know, some of those difficulties will not be as severe. And that means that when you pay your bills on time, we will then be able to pay the generation company and ensure that the reliability of supply to you is solid.
Hopefully so, hopefully so. This one says, I hope to see an end to the mess that engulfed the SWAL ECG and its management system with a sudden takeover by the new ECG. Well, it's the PDS, not the ECG. I hope to see a sudden drastic reality in tariffs with the so acclaimed competence of this new management. We hope for the best and nothing else. From Yakubu Mohammed Ibn Chambas in Bolgatanga. I don't know if you want to have a quick go at that.
Well, Yakubu, thank you very much. We need people like you to keep us on our toes. Because accountability is the name of the game. We want to be. He
sounds a bit optimistic and at the same time skeptical. You know.
Well, that's how life is, isn't it? So I accept him I accept him on both sides, you know. But I'm saying his comments are positive, and I think for us coming into the distribution space, we need to be kept on our toes, and we're happy to be challenged.
We'll be here
because we are confident that we can fulfill the challenges.
We'll be here to do that too. Trust JoyNews when it comes to accountability. Now, this one says Masawudu. His name is Masawudu in Bantama. Says the NDC have not recovered from their defeat. Okay, now this is NDC issue. We're talking about electricity. Okay, so I'm going to skip that message and take this one. Says, please Gifty, ask Mr. Fred Asemeni whether PDS shall recruit positive vigilantes to help monitor the effective running of the operation. From Godwin Azameti in Koforidua.
Hey, Godwin, this one is a tough one. I don't know what he means by positive vigilantes.
I think that...
But he raises a point which, with your permission, I'd just like to touch on an issue there. You know, the electricity distribution network in Ghana is spread all across the country. And as we are coming in, we would like to plead with Ghanaians to show patriotism and ensure that at no point is there any act of sabotage to any part of the system, because we don't want anything to come on our blind side and say, ah, look, these people took over and the system is down.
I think the point he's trying to make is whether, you know, you talk about clamping down on those who steal power.
Yes.
So he's asking if you want to, you know, employ. I mean, we need jobs for this, but we're campaigning for a disbandment of political party vigilantes. Yes. So we need jobs for those people anyway. So if the PDS is going to take on these people to let them go around checking for those who are stealing power, I guess that's what's the point that Mr. Godwin is trying to make.
Well, Godwin, let me assure you that PDS intends to work within the law. Vigilantism is not part of our mandate.
But vigilantism, basically, it's not such a bad thing if you're being vigilant. I mean, that's why Professor Henry Mensah-Bonsu said we should not call these groups vigilante groups, because vigilantes usually are people who are taking on responsibilities that are ordinarily not theirs to make sure that something is kept in order, basically. So,
well, okay, from that angle, clearly we will encourage Ghanaians that if you become aware of any consumer partaking in any illegal activity or illegal, certainly we'll encourage you to report.
Right.
But from the technology side, we intend to introduce advanced technology that makes stealing of electricity far more difficult. Okay. And obviously the penalties now that will go with the discovery of electricity theft, I think is going to be more severe than it has been in the past, because it affects all of us. Yeah. If somebody is getting electricity for free, it denies us, you know, revenue that we need to improve the network. That then results in a lower tariff for consumers.
That's true. So we're wrapping up this conversation. I've taken most of your questions, and I hope that they've answered. The answers that you've received are very helpful. I'm wrapping up this conversation, but I've got this comment also coming to us from our social media platform. I mean, Facebook, I intended to say. Kofi Ahenkra says, hopefully they will keep their word. ECG designed an app. I bought power with the app. I wasn't credited. I reported to them. It's been over 2 months now. I don't think they even care. David Amano says, I'm already seeing change. It's raining here at Olebu, but the light has not gone off like it usually does when it rains. Well, I don't know. Don't be too quick. Okay, Evangelist Christopher Mensah Gamli says they should give every tenant his or her own meter to boost their revenue collection. We've spoken about that, and basically the point was that is basically an arrangement between the tenant and the owner of the house. Baba Wala says constant power supply and reduced tariffs, and he ends that with an exclamation sign. He's screaming it. Constant power supply and reduced tariffs. That's all, he says. Nitaki Mark Orlando says, my expectation is that PDS will increase tariffs as that's the whole idea, is what you write. Okay. Sadat Nabila Ablai says, I hope they work on power theft and wastages. It's key in efficient delivery of services. And Kofi Masia, last but one, says privatization is the only way forward. I think if things will change for the better. Asante Yunis says, I hope they will deal with the issues of meter shortages, especially at the Ketu South municipality in Denum. Now, this is a lot of research material that we provided the PDS, basically. Yes. These are information that you can, you know, take up the messages, the places, people have locations, etc., that you can take on. That will also help a lot. I'm going to take your very final comment so far, going into the future. You said we should be patient. How long can we hold on, or should we hold on?
First of all, let me say thank you very much to Joy for giving this opportunity, this platform, to share, you know, our views on how we intend to prosecute this business going forward. As you know, we took over today, so our new CEO has been busy the whole day, trying to organize and reorganize. But I'm very encouraged by the comments and the questions that I have heard. And I'll also encourage people that going forward, we're going to have a unit that is dealing primarily with innovation. So anybody who has any ideas as to how we can improve the system, we'll be very willing to listen to the person, because at the end of the day, like I'm saying, we are here to serve Ghanaians. Now, you say how patient do people have to be?
Yeah.
You know, it takes time when a baby is born for them to grow into an adult. But we don't intend to shock the system immediately. But what is going to drive our change is going to be technology. And I'll give you an example when you were talking about meter theft. For instance, today, a large number of meters are located inside the supply point, inside the residences, or inside the factories, inside the commercial enterprises. If we took those meters, as has been experimented with, and put them on the pole, so that we know how much electricity is coming through the meter to your house. If you steal electricity, it will be so obvious.
Okay.
Yeah. And every meter point will now be identified through a GIS GPS location. So it allows us to be able to look at your meter even if we're in Haiti.
That's part of the technology you intend to deploy?
Yes.
I see. Okay. Well, Ms. Asmani, like you said, it's early days yet. This is the first day you take over. Someone is even quick to say that, well, the lights have gone off, but there's heavy rains and the lights haven't gone off. Don't be too quick yet. Let's keep monitoring them. We here at JoyNews will keep, their feet to the fire and make sure that, they give you what you deserve as a citizen of Ghana. Ms. Asmani, thank you so much for coming.
It's been a pleasure.
We look forward to constant supply of electricity, consistent, and that is also adequate.